I'll do yourself a favour, Viv.
It's not we need, it's screamed.
Oi! Move back, please. As see here. Come on, what's getting in the way? Come on, please. Please, move back.
Excuse me.
Madam, this is not a public entertainment.
I think I can help.
Oh, yes?
Hold on, Steve.
Hello.
I know you, don't I?
Sally Bowen. I'm a probation officer. One of my clients told me what happened. I may be able to identify her.
CID already at the scene.
Good. What does it sound like?
Looks like a prostitute, and they're very nasty end.
Someone must have looked her, I suppose. Once.
Oh, dear God.
Do you know her?
Yes. She used to be a client. Was called Janie.
So that's Janie Constant, age 24, address unknown, but local. Some sort of form. All right, Kath, I'll pass that on to Tosh and Donna. By the way, is there any sign of Amit yet?
Not yet, Skip.
Thanks very much for all your help, Mrs.
Bowen.
If you wouldn't mind leaving your address and telephone number with DC Martella, we might have to take a statement off you later.
I really do want to do everything I can to help. Whoever did this to her must be sick, very sick. He needs to be stopped before he does it again.
Yeah, that's understood.
I hope because she's a prostitute won't mean you'll treat the case lightly.
Am I doing that?
She was a normal, healthy human being, Inspector.
So?
It's not that she had it coming to her. She was a woman, and she's entitled to the same kind of...
Madam, if you're going to start telling me how to do my job, please don't.
I just want to make sure that you intend to take this seriously.
Are you suggesting I'm not?
I can't be sure, can I?
With all due respect, I don't think it's any of your business.
Well, I think it is.
Is this a service you do for all the local whores? Or did you just happen to be passing?
Excuse me, what did you say your name was, Inspector?
Frank Burnside. Now, if you're finished, I've got a murderer to catch. I'm sure there's some good you could be doing somewhere else. Viv, do you mind escorting Mrs. Bowen out of the area?
Mrs. Bowen...
Hold on. Inspector?
Go on.
What's your problem?
I'm trying to do my job.
Is it that I'm a probation officer, or because I'm a woman?
It's because you're getting in my way. Now, if you don't...
I came here to help, so don't treat me like some stupid, meddling bystander.
Don't tell me. You're gonna make a complaint?
You're a bonehead, Mr. Burnside. A stupid, sexist bonehead.
Well, thank you for those helpful comments. When we've collared this murderer, I'm sure you'll be able to do him some good, too.
You really are a pig, aren't you? An ignorant pig.
Watch yourself, Gov. She might bite you. Who is she? Don't ask.
Don't you start. Anyway, you're wrong, Kath. Burnside got mad because he thought she was an interfering do-gooder.
She was there to help.
Been having fun?
Been watching Burnside building bridges with the public. Picked the wrong one this time, though. She called him an ignorant pig. He was crushed, of course. Naturally.
Tosh.
Yeah, right. I'll pull in. You can never find one when you want one, can you?
No, you can't.
Better look next time.
Yeah. Over here on your right, Tosh.
I've got it.
They see us coming.
Look, shall we separate?
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. Excuse me, love.
Business?
It's early in the day. Sorry, love, you're out of luck. DC Line, Sunhill Police. Do you know Janie Constant?
Get lost. Yeah, all right, girls. Tell me the old story. You don't remember any of them. You know, I don't know how you lot make a living, deaf, dumb and blind.
It'd be a positive advantage some of the time.
Look, girls, I'm not a social worker, but Janie's face was beaten to a pulp. How do you know you might not be next? There's no one you know that might be able to tell us anything.
We've got nothing to say, have we?
There's a probation officer, says she knew Janie. Her name's Sally Bowen. Do you know her? You do know her, yeah?
She knows all the girls round here. Dead good to some of them, she is. Isn't she, Teresa?
If you like that sort of thing, yeah.
But you don't like her. Why?
Yes, you can talk to anyone you like, wherever you like. Yes, and of course it can be in private. Look, love, why don't... Hello? Hello? That was the woman with some information about this murder. She's trying to pluck up courage. If she calls back again, keep her talking.
Yes, Sarge.
She's a probation officer, sir. Mrs. Bowen. The one that Mr. Burnside had a chat with.
The one who was eating him alive, you mean?
A lot of the girls know her. Apparently she helps them out.
Where do you see her leading us? Up the garden path.
At least some useful background information. Addresses, people Janie Constant knew, stuff like that.
Sounds like a job for you, Gov.
Oh, thank you, Tosh. I'll locate the actions here if you don't mind. Frank, she's all yours.
I'd like Tosh with me, please, sir.
I think Viv fancied her chances with this one, Gov.
Viv still thinks the only way to make people talk is to be nice to them. Is Mrs. Bowen in? We're police officers.
She's never been soliciting again. Come on. Of course, it was a joke. Unfortunately, my dear wife's work doesn't pay half so well.
I assume you know why we're here.
Janie Constant. Where do they get their names, these tarts? My wife's at the probation office at Seymour Grove. I doubt if she wants to speak to you, though. She's not over fond of the police. Maybe I can help.
How?
Well, I know some of the girls quite well, unfortunately. It's a tendency of Sally's to bring work home.
Is that normal?
Well, she seems to think so. Lame ducks, social cripples, whores, you name them, you find them cluttering up this house from time to time. She calls it dedication to the job.
And you?
I call it cluttering up the place.
It's CID, I'm telling you. It's being handled by CID.
But the bloke on the phone told me I could speak to anyone. I don't want to talk to no detective. I want to speak to the woman cop.
Look, if you don't know her name, I don't know who you're talking about. You're not going to get very...
Excuse me. Did you call in, love?
Yeah.
Is it Kathy Marshall you want? Short, light brown hair, youngish looking?
To be quite honest, it's the fantasy element I find most upsetting. OK, so the girls have got to live a lie in some way. It's the only thing that keeps them sane. It's my wife I'm not so sure about.
Fantasy?
No, you know, bringing them here as friends, treating them as equals. In a word, she patronises them.
And they leave here as model citizens?
Exactly. Usually with some trophy in their handbags. Cash that Sally's left lying about, bit of jewellery. But I'm not allowed to mention that, of course.
Bit sexist, eh?
Sexist, classist, racist. A lot of them are black, of course. But they're all human beings, Ray. Suffering humanity.
Did you know Janie Constant?
Not that I could put a name to. Possibly. Some of the girls were pushier than others.
How do you mean?
Well, there'd be Sally treating them as human beings, and as soon as she turned their back, they leapt on me. Some of them, not all, of course.
How did you respond to that?
Well, I didn't. The only thing I was ever tempted to do was to tell my wife. And that would have wiped the smile off nicely, don't you think?
I'm not talking with her here.
Well, it's up to you, Lisa. Viv's OK, though. I wish you'd let her stay.
I don't know. I shouldn't be here anyway. I hate you lot. It's not going to go any farther, is it?
Oh, we're not going to do you for soliciting, if that's what you mean, are we?
Janie was my mate, sort of. We started on the same day. Funny, innit? Like starting in a real job, you know. Though Mrs. Bowen says that's what it is, if you think about it. I don't know.
You know Sally Bowen, do you?
Well, of course I do. I thought you knew that. All the girls do, really. It's all right, is Sally.
Lisa, where is all this getting us?
Well, we know our man as well, don't we? He's a regular.
Yes, sir. In his own bed. Well, the double. Lisa said he went with all the girls.
Kinky?
Oh, I should say so, wouldn't you? For an accountant.
I was referring to his taste in sex, actually, the practices.
That was weird enough for me, sir.
Did you actually ask?
Yes, we did, sir. Lisa says he was straight with her, except he always paid with his wife's money.
What? You went and asked her for it? She was in the house?
No, sir. But she's got this habit. Leaves cash everywhere, just lying around. He seemed to like to use it if he could.
OK. So what are you suggesting?
Sir?
Is he in the frame? Is Lisa saying he's our man?
Well, from what she's told us, Bowen's weird, but not that weird.
I don't think so. Lisa says he wasn't violent.
We need to talk to some of the other girls.
Mrs. Bowen, too, poor woman.
Where is she now? Burnside went to talk to her. This rather changes things.
I thought I might go round there, sir. And Lisa said some of the other girls would talk, although she would only talk to Kathy.
Fine by me. But go and talk to Mrs. Bowen first. Let me know her reaction to it.
No.
You better stick with the motor. Right. If she's as charming as her old man, it'll be a pleasure.
She knows you, Kath. Sure you won't ease the way?
She'll be fine as long as you don't mention Frank Burnside. I'll be down the junction looking for Lisa.
Right then.
See ya.
Yes?
Oh, is Mrs. Bowen in?
Don't you people ever talk to each other?
I'm sorry?
Well, you are a police officer, aren't you?
Yes. DC Martella from Sun Hill CID.
Yeah, well, colleagues have gone to fetch my wife from the office.
D.I. Burnside.
They won't be long. Come in.
Thanks.
I want to get this in the open. I know you don't like me, and to be honest, I'm not over fond of you. But unfortunately...
Because of what I am? Because I'm a meddling do-gooder?
Unfortunately, someone has been murdered. And I need to ask some questions, so I want to clear the air.
Well, you're not going about it very cleverly, are you? You haven't answered me.
All right. Try me again.
Just why do you think you have the right to attack me? I identified the body. Is that do-gooding? Is that interfering? Is that stepping on your toes?
All right, I'll hold my hands up. You were a help.
Why don't you sit down?
The murdered girl.
Janie Constant.
Do you know them all by name?
Give me an area. Sunhill, London, the home counties.
All right. You've made your point.
You started it, Inspector. Of course I don't know all their names. I'm a probation officer, not a madam.
And I'm a police officer, not Jack the Ripper. I came here for information, not to have a fight.
I do know lots of them round here. Janie was...
A friend of yours?
A client like all the others.
So she was nothing special then?
Of course she was special. She was a human being.
But she was no more special than any of the others. Any recent visits?
Visits?
I must have got it wrong. I heard the Toms were welcome round your place any time. Open house.
That's not exactly right, Inspector. One or two may pop round occasionally. It's not pleasant, is it, what they do for a living?
So you provide a service. Is that a probation service or a social service? I only ask.
I don't think, actually, you could understand. I offer them...
Tea and sympathy.
Space and light. Opportunity to be themselves.
In return for which they steal your money. Is that as friends or clients?
Who have you been talking to, Inspector?
Your husband.
Just interested, that's all. I mean, no witnesses, nobody coming forward. Impossible job as far as I can see.
Yeah, well, we think we've got a few leads. Do you know any of the local prostitutes at all?
Unfortunately. Sally's job, you know.
But not professionally.
What are you suggesting?
Stranger things have happened, Mr. Bowen. Get to hear all sorts in this job. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, you think so, do you? Criminal philosophy, whatever next. Well, I'd be ashamed, Miss Martella. I'd think it was all despicable. But nobody's going to listen to a tart's word anyway. Whatever claims they make. They're scum. Or perhaps you have been listening to their stories.
I'm investigating a murder, Mr. Bowen. I have been asking questions.
But can you believe their answers? Every woman has a price, you know. But of course you do know that. What's yours?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
For sexual favors, say. Would you, for example, be prepared to sell yourself to save your skin? I bet you would.
Ray's never been a problem, precisely. It's the job, really. The clash.
He's an accountant, isn't he?
He sees things in black and white. Finite quantities. You know the pressure in jobs like ours, Inspector. What it can do to your marriage. I expect you've been married in your time. Ours has been an unusual marriage. Ray tries his best, but quite honestly, aspects of my work get up his nose. I'm sure you understand.
He did mention that the house was always cluttered up.
With whores, I'm sure he said. He has this knack of choosing words he knows will offend me. He can't bear to call them girls or women.
But if he has to work at home sometimes, it must...
So there are faults on both sides. OK, I can agree with that. Anyway, it's all irrelevant, isn't it? Our minor troubles. I don't know where we're going, Mr. Burnside.
Did your husband know her? Janie?
I'd be surprised if he knew her by name. Any of them. They mean nothing to him except as bodies messing up the place. He despises them.
That's right, Skip. Seriously vile. I've just been talking to a Tom named Marlene Prince. Says he can be violent, but it's not habitual.
Hold on. We've got a probation officer who gets off on playing Good Samaritan with the local Toms, including Janie Constant. And while she's out, they jump into bed with her husband.
Who not only likes to swing from the chandelier, but is frequently violent with it.
Where is he now, this husband?
At home. He works for chartered accountants in Smithson Square, but he didn't go in this morning. Although that's not unusual, apparently. He often works at home.
Nice work if you can get it.
D.I. Burnside and D.C. Lines are at the house now, sir.
So D.C. Martella. Call Marshall. As soon as she gets to the house, I want a report from Burnside.
Sir.
Hang on, look. Wait. Come. Sierra Oscar from Sierra Oscar 9.
Go ahead, Tosh. Is Cathy there already?
Cathy? No, Miss Frank Burnside. He's with the probation officers. Chewing over Mrs. Bowen.
Who's at the house, then? Is Viv Martella with you?
Negative. The husband's at the house. Ray Bowen.
Hang on a sec.
Sierra Oscar from 487, receiving?
Yeah, go ahead, Kath.
Yeah, I heard that, Skip. I'm on my way.
Sierra 1 from Sierra Oscar.
Sierra 1 receiving.
I want you to go to 137. I repeat, 137 Stanton Gardens.
Yeah, we got that. We're on our way, Sarge.
Just tell me what the bitches have been saying.
Right. I'm going through that door.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm afraid I can't allow you to do that. I really can't. You mustn't leave this building.
Get out of my way! Get out of my way.
I really am very sorry.
Get out of my way now! Open the door! You ain't getting away from me! Police, open the door!
Well done. Sorry it took so long for the penny to drop.
I'm just going to it. Come on. I'm arresting you for assault on a police officer. You're not obliged to say anything, but anything you do say may be used in evidence.
Do you want me to tell her, Gov?
Soften the blow.
And what are you going to say? That you never liked him anyway?
Say it yourself. She might not see me as a threat, that's all.
Oh, and me she will. Good stuff, Tush.
He could have killed her, couldn't he? Any time.
Has something turned up? I've got you some coffee.
Thank you. I don't know whether I've read you right on this. I hope so. Whatever. This is going to be a shock.
I doubt it, Inspector. There's not much any... What a stupid thing to say.
We've arrested your husband. For the murder of Janie Constant. He's also been charged with assault on a police officer, DC Martella.
Who?
Viv Martella. You met her this morning.
Oh, God.
She's not seriously hurt. She was in the house. She ended up alone with him. You're not surprised by this, are you?
You don't understand. He was never violent, never.
I'm sorry. I really am.
Thank you for your kindness.
I don't think kind's the right word. Where I come from, you don't kick someone when they're down. Even if you do disagree with every word they say.
You'll want me at the station, I suppose.
Later. That won't take long.
He hates me, you know. We've not been properly married, not for years.
Yeah, well, there's no need to tell me about that. Is there anyone I can get in touch with?
To pick up the pieces. No, thank you. I'll survive.
Yeah. You already knew, didn't you?
About half a mile away.
Right, now, sugar, come on. Don't talk at Mum.
Kath?
Yeah, she's in there, Jim. Right, OK, somebody tell me where you found them.
Well, we found them about half a mile down the road.
Mrs. Gold?
Yes.
I'm Detective Constable Carver.
Hello. I'm sorry to be a nuisance.
Would you like to sit down? Now, I understand you've got some information on a burglary.
Oh, well, not really. I mean, not directly. You see, I was done about 3 months ago. 16 Rudkin Road, do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, just the usual bits and pieces taken. Video, credit card, some cash. And my jewellery, such as it was. Only I've seen it.
Seen it?
Yeah. My grand's brooch. It's in a shop window in Dishman Street.
Morning.
Morning.
There's a brooch in the window, the one with the black stone in the middle. You couldn't tell me its history, could you?
Yes, certainly. It's not a stone, actually. It's jet.
Oh, really?
A very collectible piece, a Victorian mourning brooch, as made fashionable by Queen Victoria when her beloved Albert snuffed it.
I was thinking more of its recent history, i.e., where did you get it?
Why?
DC Carver, Sunhill Police. Sorry, Mrs.
Hunt. Maureen Hunt.
We have reason to believe this item of jewellery may have been stolen.
Not by me, I can assure you.
But you are the proprietor?
Yes.
Well, how did this brooch come into your possession?
I'm a dealer. I buy and sell things.
Well, if you could just check your records to ascertain the details.
What records?
Mate, surely you must keep records. Otherwise, how do you know how much income tax you're going to pay?
You taking the mick?
No. Are you?
Leave it out. Only records you'll find in a shop like this are George Formby 78s.
OK, we could do this one of two ways. We could either continue this conversation down the neck, or you can press your memory into service. Now, I'll give you a receipt for this. It's been on the loose for about 3 months, if that's any help.
You won't believe me if I tell you. A wino. One of those that hangs round the common.
Tishman Street, Eric, an antique shop. The owner's name's Mrs. Hunt. Now, do you remember taking her the brooch?
Of course I remember. Do you think I am brain dead?
Well, where did it come from, then?
It was my mother's. I did have one, you know. Everyone has a mother.
Where did the brooch come from, Eric? Did you steal it?
No.
Or did you find it, then?
Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. That's right, isn't it?
No, it's not right. It's wrong. Look, come on, Eric. It's not like picking up a fag end or a 10-pence piece, you know. This brooch is worth quite a lot of money.
Yeah. A lot more than that old cow give me for it, I bet. Them dealers are all the same.
Oh, are they? Now, how do you know that? Did you try to sell this somewhere else first, perhaps?
No.
So how do you know about the other dealers? Have you sold other things besides the brooch?
Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. I don't tell me mates about it, because they'd all be down there and do the whole lot in one go. Been into alcohol heavy in that. Treasure Island's my secret.
It doesn't look much like Treasure Island to me, Eric.
It's just up there. It's one of my sleeping places.
Hey!
Yeah. You have to squeeze through.
You what?
Follow me. Snug, isn't it?
It's a garden shed, Eric. You can't just ferret your way into people's sheds.
Yeah, well, I was cold the first time. I'll get in anywhere when I'm cold.
Yeah. Right, so?
Any chance of a reward? There's more out there, in the compost.
When you go for the search warrant, keep it simple. Just information received, OK? Don't tell them you were trespassing.
No, sir.
Now, I'm off up the road for a minute. The DI's out, so keep DS Gregg informed. Otherwise, it's your shout. It's about time you got your teeth into something.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Is there any chance of some uniform backup, sir? We are getting a bit thin on the ground.
Talk to CI. It's been arranged. Plus van. Also notify the antique squad just in case they're interested.
Jim, you're 35 Coloma Road. Occupants Mr. and Mrs. Locke. No previous.
CID, Alan Woods.
Look, I've got the warrant. I shall be back in the nick in about 10 minutes. Look, can you round up the uniforms, please? LIO's room.
Yeah, sure. Oh, by the way, we've got an extra body on, but...
Have you kept the receipt?
Yeah, I've got the
Jim!
Mike. Isn't this a bit beneath the Art and Antique Squad, Michael?
Oh, no. No job's too big or too little. International art theft one day, Grandad's silver watch the next. That's what gives the job such a buzz.
Oh, goody.
And we've heard whispers about Mr. and Mrs. Locke before. Oh, sorry, Jim. That's really why I'm here. Oh, I'm not saying the international aspect of the squad doesn't give life a new dimension, of course.
Of course.
In fact, I'm off to New York this weekend. Big conference on title of goods.
Well, if you need a lift to the airport...
Good morning, sir. Mr. Locke.
Yes?
We're police officers, sir. Detective Constable Dashwood, Detective Constables Carver and Woods. We have a warrant to search these premises for stolen property. Show him the warrant, Jim.
I think you must be mistaken.
Well, let's hope so, sir. May we come in? Thank you. Oh, Mrs. Locke, good morning. Sorry to intrude. Alan, do you want to take upstairs? Yeah. Jim, you do the house, I'll do the garden. Mr. Locke, would you come with me, please?
What have they got spades for?
They're on community service, Mr. Locke. They're going to do a spot of digging for you.
We don't need any digging.
Don't you drop that.
There's 3 more up there. We've got the jewellery in the shed. Any luck?
Oh, pottery.
Porcelain, actually.
Nice. Very nice.
Can you tell me where you got this, Mrs. Locke?
Mike. Excuse me. And what's this, Mr. Locke? Truffles?
Now you'll be detained for questioning in accordance with the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, under which you do have certain rights.
But not the right to bury things in our own garden?
Safer than a pension fund nowadays, you know.
What are you doing?
Just starting the inventory.
Oh, really?
This is a nice piece. Victorian mourning brooch.
Yes, I know what it is.
Oh, getting into antiques, Jim?
No, I'm not.
Perhaps you should. Broaden your horizons. Looked at from the outside, you do seem to be getting a bit parochial.
Oh, really? Well, maybe that's because it's my ground and this is my operation.
I wouldn't dream of suggesting otherwise.
No. But you would dream of picking out the best bits, leaving me to label the other 400 and go square-eyed, trying to trace the owners.
Not the best. The most distinctive. The ones we stand the best chance of tracing.
When you swanned off to join the antique squad, you had us running around like blue-ass flies, remember? But you're not swanning back in here and doing it again. Ow. Go on, sling your hook. I may just be the divisional thickie, but I'm in charge.
Not started yet? Which one are you interviewing?
Neither. Not wanted on voyage.
You see, Mr. Locke, I can't quite understand why you should keep a silver tea service under your cabbage patch. Most people find a sideboard perfectly adequate.
Well, I've told you it's our way of investing. Besides, burglars nick things from sideboards.
Yes, that's very true. Burglars do nick things from sideboards. And once they've nicked them, they tend to sell them to people called fences. Now, you've heard of fences, haven't you, Mr. Locke? Middlemen who buy and sell stolen property.
On the telly, yeah.
Only, you know, because antiques are more easily identifiable than your average video, fences tend to keep them for a bit before easing them onto the market. Much like you seem to be keeping your investments.
Makes sense, I suppose. From the criminal point of view.
Where did your investments come from? I mean, the word implies that you've put money in. Did you buy them?
Which ones?
Well, let's start with the silver teapot.
The George IV or George III?
George III.
No, that was left to Andrea by our Auntie Margaret.
Have you got a copy of the will?
No, this was years ago.
2 Dresden figurines. Shepherd and shepherdess on bocage.
Bocage.
With swags.
Yeah, swags. They're festoons of flowers. Dresden's a bit twee for me, but Andrea likes it.
Did you buy those?
No, they were a birthday present from her cousin Howard.
Oh, he can confirm this, can he?
No, unfortunately. He's dead.
Bronze figurine. Naked man with short curly hair.
My sister Louise gave us that when she went into a home.
Now, which home was that?
Oh, it's closed now. And she's passed away.
Well, it seems to be a fairly terminal business, doesn't it, Mr. Locke, giving you antiques?
Well, when you get to our age, loved ones do tend to start dropping off, you know.
Did your wife wear the brooch to her funeral? The Victorian mourning brooch with jet centrepiece that was in your potting shed?
No. She can't wear black, it drains her face.
So, like the other 400 items in your possession, it was donated by a conveniently dead relative?
Oh, no, we bought it. We buy most things.
What are we supposed to think if items in your collection turn out to be listed as stolen?
Well, I suppose you say to yourselves, how do we prove it? Because we've got nothing to hide. Go along to Axel Antiques, Ballerton Road, he'll tell you.
Mr. Axel? Mr. Timothy Axel?
Yes.
I'm Detective Constable Carver, Sunhill Police, and this is Detective Constable Woods.
A matching pair. How nice.
We've been advised to call on you by Mr. and Mrs. Locke. Now, you're acquainted with anyone of that name?
Eddie and Andrea? Certainly, yes. I must say it's very kind of them to put a bit of custom my way.
We're not buying, Mr. Axel. Mr. and Mrs. Locke claim to have legally purchased a large number of items from you over the last few years. We were wondering if you could help us verify that.
Well, certainly, my pleasure. They're one of my best customers. Two of my best customers. Anything else? I was just about to make a cup of tea, if you'd care for one.
We were thinking more of written verification, Mr. Axel. Though I realise some dealers like you tend not to keep records.
Some do, some don't. I most certainly do. You want to see the books, then?
Well, yeah.
Have a browse for a moment.
My granny had one of these. I used to lock my sister in it.
1992, 91, 90, 89, 88, 87. How far back did you want to go?
There you go. Small salver on 3 legs, engraved, slight damage to rim. Yep. Purchased from R. Smith of Bexley, 8791. Sold to E and A Locke, 13791.
Purchased from R. Smith of Bexley. We're being stitched up. Those books have got to be a concoction, surely. Axel and the Locks are in it together. Every time they receive a nicked item, they pay him a commission to record it as a bona fide transaction.
Well, that would be difficult to prove. You'd have to check out every initial seller, the people Axel claims he bought the items from in the first place.
Yeah, but those people are fictitious, aren't they? I mean, that's the whole point.
Not necessarily.
What?
It could be real enough. Be in on the deal as well. Being paid to say they did sell Axel the pieces.
Oh, leave it out, Tosh, please.
So you could end up with a situation where every item on this table is on a list of stolen property. But 2 people are contesting ownership of each and every item. The genuine loser and the name in Axel's book.
Well, that could take years to sort out. Decades. I'll be an antique myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you'll phone me back, Adele? Yes. Right. Yeah, thanks. Bye. Hi. Viv tells me you've been making giant strides.
Look, Mike, I want to apologise. Look, I'm sorry I snatched this from you earlier. I was about overboard all around kicking you out.
It's not a problem. I appreciate your feelings. There's nothing more galling than a specialist squad muscling in when you've got everything under control.
Well, even so, you are the expert. And I think you should follow the whole thing through. So if I stand down, will you take over?
What? When you're on the point of getting a result?
Well, we have to be mature about these things, don't we? Professional.
Well, what about the DCI?
Oh, he'll approve it. He thinks we should use specialists wherever we can. It's the way forwards.
Right. Well, if you're sure, I'll take up the reins then.
Is that from the Locks?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I should have told you I'd taken it from upstairs.
You got a lead on it?
No, not really. The office is phoning back.
Well, I'll see to it.
Honestly, Jim, it's of no importance.
That's about my level. Look, you get on upstairs, and if anything comes through, I'll let you know.
Hello again.
Been left with the Bratware.
The what?
Bratware. That's what the stuff's called. It's a can of Staffordshire. According to Mike, anyway.
Make very interesting reading, don't they? I hope you're not depending on them to prove your innocence.
Well, I didn't know we had to prove anything. I thought that was your job.
See, the likelihood is that when we compare the retrieved property...
Our property.
...with our lists of stolen, we'll be able to match, 50%?
Maybe more.
But no. Let's just say 200 pieces. And if we say on average that 4 pieces were stolen at each burglary, that still leaves 50 people who know those pieces intimately. Every mark, every scratch. What chance have your Mr. Smith of Bexley or your Mrs. Brown of Epping of proving title against that kind of knowledge?
Well, I don't want to be funny, but isn't that our dealer's problem, Mr. Axel? All we're saying is that we bought our things from him in good faith. After all, we're not talking major works of art here, are we? Just common garden collectible.
Do you know a man named Philip Starkey? He's a convicted burglar.
So you think that could be the piece that does them, the locks?
Well, it's gonna be. Otherwise, Mr. Michael Antiques wouldn't have kept it to himself, would he?
Apparently, Mr. Starkey doesn't sell to the usual dealers. There's a married couple in Sun Hill, straight as a pair of Queen Anne legs, who give better prices. So we believe he's active locally as well. As you'll appreciate, even in Sun Hill, virtually every household has something collectible.
Sorry to interrupt, mate.
DC Dashwood leaves room.
Regional Crime Squad are on the phone.
Thank you, Tosh.
09535.
Yes.
And that's the one.
Right. All right, Don.
Yeah.
RCS on our grounds.
Apparently so, sir, yes.
Nice to be told.
They've been targeting a burglar named Philip Starkey for us, sir. He's sniffing around the Pliny Road area at the moment. If he goes for it, they're going to lift him. He probably accounts for, half of this.
Local assistance required?
Only me.
What about Jim Carver?
He's a bit busy at the moment, sir.
Tosh, you better go with him. Keep the smart ass in line.
Hello, is that SO1, the Antique Squad? Yeah. Could I speak to Adele? I think it was Adele. My name's Jim Carver. I'm a DC at Sun Hill. I'm phoning on behalf of Mike Dashwood regarding the Prattware. The Prattware. Sorry? No, I don't. Well, do you know she's going to be back? Because she's supposed to be phoning. Right. Cheers, then.
Target has gone down side entry of number 37. That's 37 at Pliny Road. Trackers from Tracker 1, stand by.
We work closely with all the regional crime squad. And Interpol, of course.
Of course.
So, naturally enough, the confines of division do seem a bit parochial. Like I said to Jim. He's got very touchy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, breaking glass. Sounds like it's going in. Yeah, he's in the house.
Here we go.
All units from Tracker 2, we've lost him. He's out over the fence, east towards Ferrer Street. Legging it through the garden.
in here. Right. All right, boss. Oi, oi, oi.
Come on.
Come here.
That's enough.
Hands behind you. Come on.
Yes?
Have you seen Mike Dashwood, sir?
He's out helping the RCS. How come you're not?
Another body for you, Jim. Philip Starkey.
Who the hell's Philip Starkey?
Just an antiques burglar. But he hates stir, so he'll probably do the honest thing and finger Mr. and Mrs. Locke for you, if you ask him nicely. Thank you. Oh, by the way, did Adele call back about the jug?
No, she didn't.
Nice girl, head like a sieve. Not to worry.
Not to worry.
No. Do you think you can put it back with the rest? I only wanted a rough valuation. Bought a Prattware jug myself last week. Just wanted to put it on the insurance while I thought of it. Before I jet off to New York. I'll send you a postcard.
Morning, Donna. We're early.
Yeah, I'll circulate that and I'll send someone round, OK? Cheers. Sarge, Antelope Removals, Halpern Street. They've lost a furniture van.
Mr. Gorman?
Uh-huh.
You're the owner, yeah?
Yeah. What can I say? I feel a right plonker.
So what happened then?
Well, me and the lads cleared the house yesterday. Parked the van out here on the street last night. Padlocked and everything. Come in at 7 o'clock this morning to take it on down to Southampton, and it's gone.
It's 8 o'clock now, Mr. Gorman. Why the delay?
Well, we've been out looking. Well, what would you do if you'd lost someone's worldly goods?
George, contents of that van belongs to Mrs. Marlene Kennedy. Contact address is 11 Manchester House, Pilgrim Estate. It's her daughter's place. She's staying there while her stuff's shipped out to Jamaica.
Jamaica?
That's where she comes from. She's retiring there. The removal firm haven't given her the good news yet. Yeah, go ahead, June.
I think we found the van.
Can confirm it is the missing van, Ventress Road, and there's somebody with it.
Nice run, Linford.
We've got a body with the van. It's Doug Ritchie.
Richie? That's a bit out of his league, isn't it? Hijacking lorries?
Look, I was just walking past. You know me, I'm always trying handles. Bet it wasn't locked.
So you climbed in and nicked the VCR?
Yeah. But I didn't hit the lorry. I can't even drive.
Look, there's really no cause for alarm, Mrs. Kennedy. We've retrieved the video, and as far as we or Mr. Gorman can see, nothing else seems to be missing.
Just show me, please. All right?
Mind your head on that.
What's wrong, Mrs. Kennedy? What's missing?
They've taken my dolls.
Dolls? Yeah, dollies. I'm sure you used to have one.
No, I was more into Action Man myself, Gov.
Oh, really?
Anyway, her entire collection's been nicked.
This isn't antique dolls we're talking, is it?
Of course it's antique dolls. You don't think a load of Barbies is going to be worth 15 grand, do you?
15 grand? Just exactly how many dolls were there, Mrs. Kennedy?
48. All my best porcelain.
Insured?
No. I never got around to it. And it's all the expense on top of buying them.
Sure. Only, I think you may find you're not insured with Antelope Removals either. They're not the most conscientious of firms.
They're cheap. I buy everything cheap. That's how I could afford my dolls. And what is insurance anyway? They can't replace what they mean to me.
No, I suppose not.
I'll get it.
So, if you're not insured, have you got an inventory at all? A detailed list of the dolls?
Oh, yes. I got a list. I gave it to the ones in uniform.
Right, well, I haven't been given it yet.
Another one, Mum.
Mrs. Kennedy. Good morning, Detective Constable Dashwood, Arts and Antique Squad. Hello, Jim.
Would you excuse us for a minute, please, Mrs. Kennedy?
Jim?
Are you haunting me, or what?
Haunting? No. Why, have you got a guilty conscience?
Look, what are you doing here this time? Do you sit at Scotland Yard scanning our radio frequencies?
No. I'm responding to information received.
Who from?
Inspector Burnside. Didn't he tell you?
All I'm asking is, why?
Because it's a trend, Jim.
Oh, yeah, it's a trend, certainly. Every time something's nicked, he's here winding me up.
Dolls are a trend, all right? The theft thereof. Last year it was snuff boxes, this year it's dolls. Nobody made of china and under 2 feet tall is safe. Look, I had a paper circulated to me from Art and Antiques, all right? I gave him a bell while I was waiting for you to turn up for work.
And we get him.
Now listen, if you've got a problem working with Michael Dashwood, just say so. I'll get someone else to take over. Why not, Tosh?
Hey?
What do you know about dolls?
That they're cheaper than kids? The wife's not interested, though.
What, do you fancy some of this? Jim wants out.
Oh, look, Gov, I never said I wanted out.
No. No, I'm not having Michael Dashwood ending up in an alley with a sharpened peg doll in his back. You're out, you're in.
Yeah, fine, Gov.
It's probably done you a favour, Jim. Better off the job than losing it.
Who said I was going to lose it?
You see, you rise to the bait. Me? I don't rise to anything anymore. I'll handle Dashwood.
Ah, I see she's got a frozen Charlotte.
Who has?
Mrs. Kennedy.
Oh. That's the English climate for you.
No, it's a kind of 19th century doll, Tosh, made entirely of china, so that you can use it in the bath.
Yeah, well, no one uses me in the bath, mate. Let's get that straight from the start, shall we?
Tosh?
Sarge?
Socko's just called. They found that lorry's padlock in Ventress Road. Looks like it's been sheared.
Well, that blows out Doug Ritchie. He couldn't shear his own toenails, even if he could find them. Cheers, Sarge.
So, definitely a professional job, then?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, well, you better let me do the talking, since you don't know a pouty from a poupard. It really is a splendid collection, Mrs. Kennedy. Not at all the sort of thing you'd expect.
An old West Indian cleaner to own?
That's not what I meant.
I used to work for this old lady in Belgravia, you know, more than 30 years. She gave me a doll for Christmas one time. I got interested. In those days, they weren't so expensive. Now.
No, well, that's the thing, Mrs. Kennedy. There's quite a fad for porcelain dolls at the moment. So the price is high. Especially for beautiful Cameron Reinhardts like these.
They're not Cameron Reinhardts. They're Simon and Halbigs.
Oh? Oh, yes. What I'm saying is that the thief must have been very selective. Who knows about your collection and the fact that you're moving back to the West Indies?
My family.
What about the removal men? Were they aware that the dolls were on board? Did they pack them?
I packed them into the boxes, onto the van.
So the removers did know about them?
Yes, they did.
Anyone else? I mean, has anyone offered to buy one of your dolls? Anyone you wouldn't trust?
I had someone knocking a couple of weeks back. He offered me a price for my cushion Fisher.
Did he give you an address or anything?
I knew him already. Sold him one of my dolls about 2 months ago. It hurt, you know? But this moving business cost so much, I had to part with her. But I told him then no more. But you know what they're like, these Ponzi people? They don't take no for an answer. They think you're stupid.
And his name?
George Dempster.
Bye-bye. Goodbye.
Well, at least I know what a pouty is now. It's the face you pull when you drop a ricket.
Yeah. So I'll take the knocker and you take the removal man.
No, I'll take the knocker. You do the removal men. You see, Jim? That's how you do it. Just treat him rough. DC line, Sunhill Police.
Will you excuse me?
Yes, of course.
I think perhaps we'd better go upstairs.
Certainly. We're trying to speak to everyone acquainted with Mrs. Marlene Kennedy and her collection of antique dolls. I understand you did business with her recently. Well, a couple of months back.
Kennedy. Oh, the West Indian lady?
Yeah.
Yes. I took a rather nice jumeau off her hands. Late jumeau. Not early, but rather fun. Gave her a good price for it, actually.
That's very decent of you. I also understand that you called on Mrs. Kennedy again. Well, a couple of weeks back, offering to buy more.
Well, yes, I did. We got talking when she came here, and she told me what she'd got, and quite frankly, it seemed such a waste.
A waste?
Please, don't sit there.
Sorry?
Shipping all those lovely creatures out to the West Indies. The climate will ruin them, quite apart from the, what do the sociologists call it? Extended family. I mean, these dolls just are not the sort of things you want your grandchildren getting their sticky fingers on. They're not toys, after all.
So basically you were trying to save the collection for the nation?
Well, I wouldn't put it in quite those terms.
But you did try to buy it, as cheaply as possible, so you could flog it at a great profit.
Aren't you being a trifle offensive? We are on the same side, I think.
Somebody's stolen Mrs. Kennedy's dolls. Every one of them. From her removal van.
I don't steal, Mr. Lyons. Not in the criminal sense.
Look, what more can I tell you? The yard was full, so we had to park outside. And our vans ain't exactly thief-proof. Well, not against pros, anyway.
How do you know it was a pro, Mr. Gorman?
Well, you said the guy you caught was a blowout.
Yeah.
So?
So, that brings us back to you and your happy band of chimpanzees. Can I have a full list of their names and addresses?
Well, there you go. Third time lucky. John Terence Pryke. 2 TDAs and a handling. It's no more of a record than Doug Ritchie's, though, is it?
No, but he's got the insider knowledge to go with it. Donna, you busy?
Depends.
Can you check this bloke out for me for known associates?
Pryke.
Yeah, he's one of the shifters with antelope removals. I'm going to give him a pull. Oh, by the way, if a bloke called Adrian calls, can you take a message? I gave him your extension.
Right, sir.
£3 an hour. Not a lot, is it, John?
Keeps me in beer, like. Don't need no more.
Oh, you like a jar, then? Black Swan's nearest Holborn Street. Do you ever go there, after work?
Yeah, sometimes.
So, tell me about yesterday. Mrs. Kennedy's. Were you aware that the dolls were valuable?
You couldn't help but, could you, the way she was faffing about?
Did it worry you?
Not my responsibility, mate. Not for £3 an hour.
Do you talk about your work, John?
Not a lot to talk about, really, is it? Rupturing yourself, shifting sideboards.
Oh, it's not all shifting sideboards, though, is it? Some jobs are a bit different. Like Mrs. Kennedy and her dolls. Did you tell anyone about the dolls, John?
No.
Well, why not? Like you say, it's not your responsibility. Did you tell Barry Lovegrove? He drinks in the Swan.
Who?
Barry Lovegrove.
Don't know him, mate.
Yes, you do. You used to steal motors with him.
Steal? I'll leave it.
Yeah, all right. Take away without permission. We won't quibble. You and him were best mates.
Yeah, but that was yonks ago.
So why say you don't know him?
Because you'll start assuming things.
What things? What things, John?
That I'm at it.
Are you then?
No.
Barry is. He's a burglar nowadays. Did you know that?
No.
Well, that's all right then.
What?
Well, you and Barry meet up every now and then, have a couple of pints, have a chat for old time's sake, and you just let things slip. Nothing wrong with that. Perfectly innocent. Just careless. Is that what happens, John? You just get chatting and let things slip?
Yeah, something like that.
You couldn't let slip his current address, could you?
I hope you appreciate this.
What?
The way I'm sharing everything with you, despite your siege mentality. I expect hostility from somebody as insecure as Jim. I'm not a man of your maturity. Claire Hobbs.
Yeah?
Detective Constable Dashwood. This is DC line... Hey.
Yeah, all right, mate, all right.
All right. If only they could talk, eh, Mike? Let's not mess about, Barry. The doll.
It's Claire's. I told you.
Where'd she get it?
Ask her.
I did. She said you gave it to her.
So? She's my girlfriend. She likes that sort of thing. I gave her a koala bear last Christmas.
When did you give it to her?
3 or 4 weeks ago.
So how come it matches exactly this photograph? And this entry in our list of recently stolen property, recently being last night?
Want some ice?
Nope.
Might as well. Won't be getting any sympathy.
See, we know you had certain information about the contents of a removal van.
This is John Boy, is it?
And it's fair to assume that you weren't working for yourself. These things are too specialised for the fences that you normally do business with. So what are you on then? 10%? That's not bad for a night's work, is it, I suppose? But have they come across yet? Of course, if they haven't, they're not going to now, are they? Not now you're nicked. Did you know that less than 5% of stolen antiques are recovered? The rest just seep away through the dealers. We do, of course, catch a lot of the actual thieves. The ones who do all the dirty work. Don't see fair, really, does it? When you get naff all except a present for your girlfriend, and then she's got to give it back. You're at your depth, Barry. Why don't you get it off your chest and go back to opportunist housebreaking?
Lima Street.
Sorry?
Lima Street, Mitre Antiques.
Mitre Antiques?
Yes, sir. Apparently his name's Matthews. Apparently only deals in really good stuff.
You're not telling me that blaggers like Lovegrove are stealing to order now, I hope?
Not exactly, sir, no. Matthews puts out the word, finds out what the market wants. After that, it's up to them. The thing is, though, that he doesn't hang on to the stuff for very long. He just acts as a conduit. Now, if we're going to get the dolls back, we're going to have to do him quickly.
You asking me or telling me?
Asking, of course, sir.
A raid?
Yes, sir, I've authorised it.
Oh. Is the information reliable?
Line seems to think so, sir.
Lines? Not Dashwood?
No, Dashwood's hors de combat, sir. He took a smack in the face.
Oh, dear.
Well, last time, if you remember, sir, Dashwood and the Regional Crime Squad stole the march on us and waltzed off with all the glory, so...
Well, does that matter, Derek? As long as criminals are apprehended and stolen goods recovered?
No, of course not, sir.
Well, let's just proceed in a professional manner then, shall we?
Yes, sir, I am, sir.
And make sure that a Sunhill officer makes the arrest.
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Oh, right, yeah. That's to where? When? Yeah, right. Well, I'll meet you next Wednesday as usual. Cheers.
So how's Adrian?
Fine. He's my snout, since you're too polite to ask.
Funny name for a snout.
What do you expect with the antique squad? Lenny the Lip. Actually, he's,
Hello, Mike. How's your face?
How does it look?
Terrible. Just thought you'd like to know, Lovegrove's coughed.
Really? Well done.
Not only that, he's fingered a middleman, Alex Matthews. Runs an antique shop on Lima Street. We're turning it over, if you're interested.
Of course I'm interested. It's just I still feel a bit shaky.
They don't know.
No, Michael? No, he's sulking, isn't he? He's losing the game, so he doesn't want to play anymore.
Right, we all ready?
Nice to have you along, sir. I presume it'll be your colour when we get to it.
Yeah, I think so. If you don't mind, I don't get many.
Not gone to the ball, Cinderella?
I didn't fancy it. Tosh Lines is even worse than you.
Actually, I think they might have bought tickets to the wrong venue. My snout just phoned. According to him, the dolls have already gone through Matthews. They're at a shipping company on the new commercial estate. Awaiting transit to a buyer in America?
Why don't you tell the others?
Still a bit woozy, I suppose. You know what it's like when you get a smack in the face.
Look, I'm only coming with you to assert my independence. It's my choice, not yours.
5-4 from Craig receiving.
Go ahead, Alistair.
In position at the back, over.
All units from 5-4, go. Alex Matthews?
Yes?
Chief Inspector Conway, Sunhill Police. I have a warrant here to search these premises for antique dolls stolen in Holborn Street last night.
Oh. Well, don't break anything.
Here we are, this is the place, Washburn Shipping.
Well, we're not going in on our own, are we? Just you and me?
Why not? Be like the good old days.
What good old days?
We'll call for backup in a minute. They won't be long at Mitre Antique. All right, lads. Police. Your governor around?
Right.
All right. May we?
Oh, look, Jim. It's Hello, Dolly.
CC lines from Sierra Oscar. CC lines from Sierra Oscar.
Lines receiving.
Message from Mike Dashwood. Can you spare the van to pick up some stolen property at Washburn Shipping?
Here we are, just this way. And there we are, Mrs. Kennedy. All safe and sound.
Oh, thank you,
Oh, yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, yes. Here's another one here.
Like you said, Tosh, if only they could talk.
So when did you find him?
About half an hour ago.
Has Inspector Munro been informed?
Yeah, he's on his way.
Any ID?
Yes, there was a driving licence in his inside pocket. Straight drop. Plenty of height.
Yeah.
Has to be a jumper.
Death confirmed. 8:51 a.m.
So what do you think?
I think we should get photos and forensic out here before we get them moved.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
Alan, that body that was found out by the Lees, is it right his name was Tomes? Ronald Tomes?
Going by the property he had on him, yes.
Anything sus?
I wouldn't like to say, Gov. I mean, it could have been suicide, but he seems to have been on foot and he was a long way from home.
Yeah. Well, you know what it's like with jumpers. They like to get it right. I've known some of them go miles to do it.
What floor do we want?
The 6th.
I might have known.
Mrs. Ruddy?
Yes.
Sun Hill Police. You reported a break-in?
Come on.
These are just the items we found on him, sir. As it's a fall, the pathologist wants the clothes left on the body until the PM. According to his driver's licence, he lived at Marsh Beck.
All Hallows Terrace, Marsh Beck.
That's right, yeah.
And before that, he had a house in Pink's Lane.
You mean you knew him, sir?
Ronnie Tomes? Yeah, I knew him. Believe it or not, he used to be a circus performer. High wire act. Then he gave it up and drifted into crime. Became a high wall man.
Any convictions?
Yeah, a couple. Well, that was a long time ago.
You see, what worries me, well, it worries both of us, is that whoever it is must have broken in while we were asleep. We always go to bed early.
Yeah, but broken in where exactly?
The back bedroom. It's a room we don't use very much now. Not since our daughter left home. There.
Mind the glass, Polly. So what's out there then, Mr. Ruddy?
Out there? Nothing.
There's no balcony?
No, nothing.
I think we'd better give Socko a call.
Yeah, right. Polly, you better give the Paras a call and all. It was 6 floors up, Mr. Ruddy. How could anybody break in through here?
I don't know, but they did.
Are you sure the wind didn't break the window? I mean, it must blow a bit up here.
Oh, no. Things were stolen.
What things?
The unbadged single goblet was on there.
Oh, what?
Hornchurch, 1987.
Oh, no, it was before that. You went over to Romford in 1987.
Did I?
Bank holiday Monday.
Oh, yes, yeah. The Billericay Legion Bowl was on there. Only a small thing.
We kept odds and ends in it.
The rest were in here. On that shelf. 2 cups, a tankard, and a little figure on a stand.
What are we talking about? Trophies?
Yes.
What for?
For bowls. Singles matches. I used to do a bit.
Are they worth much?
Oh, no, they're just cheap things. Not like club presentations. They were just put together after a whip round. A sort of day-out prize, if you like, for the singles winner. we used to say the inscriptions were worth more than the trophies.
The West Thurrock one was nickel-plated silver.
No, it wasn't worth anything. No bigger than an egg cup.
So you're saying all that was taken were these trophies?
Yes, and a bin liner. Well, I left one out for the morning. It was gone.
Yeah, well, do you have any valuables in the flat?
Valuables? No, I don't think we've got anything valuable.
There were those bits of jewellery that belonged to your mother.
Yes, but they're not worth much.
What about money? Do you keep much money in the flat?
Just enough to pay the bills, that's all.
Hiya.
Where are we?
Number 100, 6th floor.
Oh, great.
No, you wait till we get up there. You're gonna love this one.
Excuse me. Is this Ronnie Tomes's house?
He's not in.
No, but is this his house?
Who are you?
Detective Inspector Burnside. Sunhill Police.
He doesn't own the house, he only rents it. If you can call it a house. It's more like a rabbit hutch.
So, who are you?
My name's Denise.
Are you a relative?
No.
Girlfriend?
Well, I share the bills and I share his bed. I suppose that makes me his girlfriend. Look, I can't help you. Whatever he did wrong, he did it a long time ago. He told me that.
And, you believed him?
Yeah. We get on all right together. There's not what you could call love between us, but we get on all right. He's been kind to me. And I do my best to keep him out of trouble.
What sort of trouble?
Drinking. Mixing with the wrong sort of people.
So who are the wrong people?
The deadbeats he drinks with, given half a chance. They're no good to him. They try and kid him he's the star he once was. But he isn't. It's just that he still likes an audience. Any audience. But all he's got left are the people he drinks with.
And you.
Oh, yeah. And me. Look, is that it? Only I've got things to do. I was working late last night.
Where's that?
Behind the bar at the Cromwell.
Is that where you met Ronnie? At the Cromwell?
Yeah. Life and soul of the place. Buying rounds for all them wasters and takers.
Bit of a mug with his money, is he?
What money he has got, yeah.
Where's he work?
He does a bit of jobbing here and there. Driving and that. Delivering cars. Look, why do you want to know all this?
You just told me that you kept him out of trouble.
That's right, I do. When I can.
You let him down last night then, didn't you?
Last night?
He didn't come home, did he?
All right, what's he been up to?
You tell me.
Look, I don't own him. We live together, that's all. I do my best, but I can't watch him all the time, can I? It's his life.
Not anymore.
What do you mean?
We need you to come and identify him, love. He's dead. You sure you're all right? Where did he go last night? Do you know?
No, no idea.
He didn't tell you? What about these drinking partners of his?
It could have been with them, I suppose.
What, in the Cromwell?
No, he wouldn't have gone to the Cromwell last night. I was working there. He wouldn't have wanted me to see him.
Was he in any kind of trouble?
He could have been, I suppose. He used to tell me to be careful who I opened the door to.
Why?
Some of the people he was driving for, they weren't very happy with him.
These cars, were they stolen?
I don't know, do I? Why would he want to kill himself?
Well, like you say, he hadn't got a lot going for him these days.
He did. He had me.
Are you still in the vicinity of Briars Lane, Kath?
Yes, Sarge.
Good. I want you to go to the penthouse at number 83, that's 83 Ferryside, and speak to a Mr. Goodson. He reckons he's had an intruder on the roof.
A tightrope walker? Yeah, and a trapeze artist. And a good villain, too, for the short time he was at it.
Sounds like you had a lot of respect for him.
I did, yeah. I remember when this computer warehouse got done. Shanks Mills Wharf. My old boss, well, he was my oppo then, he couldn't fathom out how anybody managed to climb up and get in. It was like the south face of the Eiger. But I knew. I'd sussed it. You see, I knew Ronnie's form. I'd sat in the front row of the big top at Pedlar's Fields with my sister's kids. And I'd seen Ronnie in action on the high wire. That's how I knew when the time came. That's how I helped nick him.
Was there anything suspicious about the circumstances?
No, I don't think so. Alan Woods had his doubts at first. But I've spoken to Ronnie's living girlfriend. It seems Ronnie was on a real downer these days. Pushing 60, no real job, no future. Living in a 2-up, 2-down, drinking with a load of deadbeats.
Would that be enough for him to kill himself?
Yeah. Knowing him, I think it's very possible. See, he was a showman. He needed an audience. Couldn't have been much fun being out of the spotlight.
So, when's the post-mortem?
12:30.
One jacket, damaged fibre, foreign debris in fibre. Blood stains on shoulders and front of jacket, probably as a result of massive hemorrhaging. Jacket removed for forensic examination.
All right, Pat.
Hello, Frank. You're going to need to get dressed up unless you want to wait.
I'll wait.
I heard some sounds during the night. It woke me up.
What kind of sound?
As if someone was on the roof, walking across it. I put all the lights on, made a lot of noise, as you people say we should do, and there were no more sounds.
And what time was this, sir?
Oh, God knows. It was in the middle of the night. I thought I was imagining things, so I went back to sleep.
You've been up on the roof?
This morning, yes. Well, I'm working from home, so I decided to pop up for some fresh air. I'll show you what I found.
Right.
At first I thought it might be some kids playing some kind of a joke, but not in the early hours of the morning. On there.
North Ockenden 88?
Yes, I didn't touch it. I thought I'd better leave it where it was.
Any idea who it might belong to?
No idea at all. Anyway, I thought burglars were supposed to take property, not bring it with them.
I completed the external examination. I'll know a bit more when I've made an internal one. Then I can let you have a full report as soon as the coroner's had his copy.
Well, what more is there to know? He jumped off a bridge.
No. Your man didn't jump off the Lees Bridge.
What?
Well, for a start, I'd say he'd been drinking a fair amount, and his injuries are consistent with him having fallen from a very high place onto a hard surface.
But he was found on soft ground under that bridge.
Maybe. That's not where he died.
Sierra Oscar 85 from Sierra Oscar.
Sierra Oscar 85?
You still out near the bypass, George?
Yeah, we're just leaving it now, Sarge. Heading south on Elms Lane.
Can you get yourself over to the Linlow plant hire site at 3 Mile Lane? Contact the site manager, a Mr. John Jarvis.
If he didn't fall to his death here, where did he fall?
His girlfriend reckons he might have had some enemies.
Enemies?
Yeah.
So we could be talking about a suspicious death.
Not necessarily.
Well, he didn't exactly fall somewhere else than Crawley to die, now, did he? Better inform Ahmed.
You gonna let them take over?
Well, I'll let them know what the circumstances are so far, and see if they'll let us run with it till we get the PM report. When's it due?
Later on today.
We didn't use the town until later on in the morning. The ladders were locked off, and when the operator got up there, he found these things up there. Right on top, on the counter, Jim. Just above the cab.
What things?
I'll show you. We put them in this box. I mean, we just couldn't believe it. They were all set out up there like some sort of prize-giving ceremony.
On top of that crane?
Yes.
And you say this lot was found at the top of a 90-foot crane?
Not all of them, no. That one was in the roof of a warehouse conversion.
You say these were stolen?
We think so, sir, yes. We're having the losers in to identify them.
Where was the location of this break-in?
100 Brightstone Flats, a very high building with a sheer drop. There's no easy access. But Socko reckons the flat could have been reached from above, not below. Here's her report. She did find traces of rope fibre on the edge of the roof.
Ronnie Tomes is a joke, a waster. Denise deserves better.
Did he come in here yesterday?
For a while, yes. About 7:30. He was tanked up before he got here.
Was he on his own?
No. He had these mates with him.
What mates?
Oh, the ones he usually hangs around with. And when Ronnie has a couple of drinks inside him, he thinks he's the top act in a circus all over again. But he's not. I told him that myself.
When?
Yesterday, when he was in here. He was making a lot of noise, mouthing off about how good he used to be. I told him I wanted him out.
So when did he leave?
After about half an hour. Denise was due on. He wouldn't hang around while she was here.
And these mates, do you know their names?
No. They're not regulars here.
So you don't know where they live or where they work?
Oh, I know where they work. They're musicians.
Musicians?
Yes. A band.
So, where do they play? Pubs, clubs?
No. It's not that kind of a band.
Oi, Mantovani. You got a licence to work these streets?
Ah, just get off out of it, will you?
Police. We'd like a word.
Don't say nothing, right?
We'd like to talk to you about Ronnie Tomes.
Who?
You know who we're talking about. Your mate. Or should I say ex-mate. Your drinking partner. The one you like to listen to and be with. Especially when he was buying the drinks.
What you talking about? We always stood our ground. Shut up, will you?
So, was he buying the drinks last night, as usual?
I don't know. We weren't out last night.
You were seen, pal.
Where?
In the Cromwell, with Ronnie Tomes. Before the governor kicked you out, booze to the eyeballs, all four of you. So where'd you go after that?
Nowhere.
What have you got to say, Len?
Nothing. He's got nothing to say.
Len?
We've got to tell him. What?
He's right, you've got to tell us. Because things are looking bad for you three.
What do you mean, bad?
You were the last people to be seen with Ronnie last night. He was found dead this morning in suspicious circumstances. So we've every right to believe that you killed him.
Killed him? No, hey, hang on a minute. No, we never killed him.
What happened then?
He bloody fell, didn't he?
You stupid bastard.
Look, we've got to tell him. He was feeling choked for some time. Things going wrong for him and that. And, well, last night sort of tipped it over, like. You know, the landlord of the Cromwell having a go at him. He sort of needed to do something. You know, to put things right.
To prove himself?
Yeah.
So how did he decide to prove himself?
Well, after we left the Cromwell, we did the rounds, you know. And then we went up Winchhill to the Mostyn Arms. You can drink late there. And when we come out, Ronnie, he could hardly stand up. But he reckoned he was all right. And he said he was going to show us that he was all right.
How?
Said he was going to walk in a straight line. From one side of Sun Hill to the other.
And if a building got in the way?
He said he'd climb it.
Did he?
Of course he did. He climbed the bloody lot, didn't he?
We tried to talk him out of it, but he wouldn't listen. First off, he got into some flat.
Oh, Stewart.
What's it matter now? He's dead, isn't he? No one can give him a bad time anymore. Not now. So we followed him in Ron's van. You should have seen him. I mean, the way he scrambled up them buildings.
Yeah. And the way he jumped, eh?
Jumped?
Yeah, you know, from one roof right across to the next. And he almost made it.
Almost.
He only went up this crane, didn't he? Right up the tower mast. I mean, we wanted to tell him to pack it in then, you know, call it a night for his own good. But we lost sight of him the other side of 3 Mile Lane. And when we caught up with him again, he was on top of the hydro.
Well, the multi-storey car park. And then what?
Well, then he fell, didn't he?
And it didn't occur to you to report any of this?
No.
But we were scared, weren't we?
You weren't too scared to move the body. Was that because you didn't want to be involved?
Don't be, Stewart.
Then why move it?
Because he was our mate, that's why.
There was a lot of people knocking about, you know, kids going in and out of clubs and that. I mean, we didn't want to leave him there, not with all that going on. So we picked him up and we put him in the van.
Did anybody else see him fall?
No. Only us.
So then you took him to the Lees?
Yeah, well, it was out of the way up there, wasn't it? Nobody was going to bother him up there. Ronnie Tomes. He was one of them.
There's this tractor old Granada. Double
Yes!
Nobody can get through. There's no tax disc.
Where's that?
On the Cockcroft.
Yeah, well, they want to pull that place down.
Yeah, you've been on the Cockcroft recently.
Yeah, we've been there. You've got to be firm, though, June. Show 'em who's boss.
Oh, thanks. I'll remember that next time. I wouldn't have minded, but I was only asking him to move it.
Yes! Oh, he's joking. I just missed a bonus.
Got to be firm, Dave.
Yeah, what happened to fair?
Anyway, before I know it, he gets out of the car and he starts calling me all the names under the sun. I'd hardly said a word. I mean, why me?
Because you're a figure of authority.
Yeah, but there is a person under the uniform, you know.
Yeah, well, we've always said so, haven't we, Steve?
Yeah, but it is the uniform, though, isn't it? I mean, you don't have to say anything these days. People just don't want to accept authority. Why do you think we got so much trouble on the Cockcroft?
It's falling down, that's why.
No, council housing's always been bad. I mean, what was there before the Cockcroft? Back-to-back terraces. We never had the sort of trouble we have to deal with now. It's the people. It's the same in the prisons. Every tow rag thinks he's got a grievance. First thing he does is start taking the place apart. You can improve them as much as you like. Doesn't make any difference.
You're a real ray of sunshine, you are, Steve.
It's your shout.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, champion.
Yeah, a £5 and I want it back.
Oh, cheers. 2 pints of lager and a bit of lemon. Easy.
You never sorted this bloke out, then?
Rogue, I got called to a domestic. Some bloke threatening to kill his wife. And when I got there, she has a go at me for interfering.
I'd have definitely gone in for the tax disc, though.
There you go.
Oh, gee. I don't believe it.
What?
The bloke with a Granada.
What, the bloke giving you a lift?
Yeah, one with a ponytail.
You want us to have a word?
I've had quite enough aggravation for one day.
No, I'm serious.
So am I.
Yeah, it's not worth the trouble, Steve. I mean, the more fuss you make with blokes like that, the more they enjoy it. You're just going to let some scroll take the mickey? Yeah, looks like it, yeah.
Dave's quite right. You'd only enjoy it.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the ladies, Steve. Is that all right if I go on my own?
Steve?
Well, I'll tell you what, how's it doing? You got three.
There you go. Sorry.
That bloke sounds like he was well out of order.
Well, it's up to June, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe we should see if he's got the car. Get B relief to do him for drink drive.
You missed your vocation, Steve. Traffic are desperate for blokes like you.
Oh, nice one.
Something I can do for you?
I don't think so.
Look, can I say something? Because you said plenty this morning. All I asked you to do was to move it. I wasn't worried about the tax disc because it was in the car. I wasn't going to do you, and I wasn't being funny, so I don't think I deserve what I got, do you?
Yeah, but...
I'm a person, you know, not just a uniform.
Steve.
I don't suppose I'm going to get an apology. Right, can I get through then, please? Thank you.
Problem, June?
Not now, no.
Oi, I haven't finished yet.
I think you just did.
I haven't finished.
I think you said enough, mate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Look, come on, Dave.
You got a problem?
No, I think you got the problem.
Dave!
You enjoy picking on women, do you?
What?
He's got to be told, June. But if you want to mouth off to somebody, right, you pick on somebody else.
Perhaps like you mean?
Yeah, if you like.
Dave, now leave it.
Call the police! They started it! He went for me, I didn't do anything! In the car. They started it, I didn't do anything!
Argument in the pub, Sarge. He smacked June, Ackland.
Filth!
Afraid so.
I love you! Let me have it! Calm down! Shut up! Filth! Bid him! I love you! I love you! You'll be seen when you've calmed down!
Sorry, Sarge.
That's your idea of a quiet drink, is it?
Good night.
My hero.
What?
You certainly know how to give a girl a good time.
Well, he was well out of order.
He was out of order.
Sergeant Lamont's not very happy.
Oh, I wonder why.
Hey?
Look, somebody could have got really hurt tonight. I mean, what if he'd picked up a bottle?
Well, he had a go. It was no use talking, was it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was doing perfectly all right before you two came in.
He was looking for trouble, June.
So you decided to wade in on my behalf, eh? And what was all that stuff about me being a woman? I can look after myself, thank you very much. Isn't that right, Steve?
We sorted him out, though, didn't we?
No, I'd sorted him out. All you did was start a fight. And whatever they charge him with, I want nothing to do with it, all right?
We were only trying to help.
That's what's so pathetic.
June! She doesn't want to know. She says it's between Keel and the night duty bloke.
Keel smacked her. He's not going to do him for ABH.
Well, she'll go for a caution just to cover herself.
And what about you?
Well, like the woman said, I've had enough aggravation for one night.
Dave.
Oh. Oh.
That new crossing by the High Green Primary. Get up there and show a face when the kids come out, all right?
Yes, Sarge.
So for the area car, that leaves Loxton and Quinnan. Try not to thump anyone.
Sarge.
Is that everyone?
No, Sarge.
Walking, 7 beat, 5 o'clock refs. OK? Have fun.
Sarge.
In a minute, June.
Sarge, sorry. CPS on the phone, urgent. Job going into court, apparently. Can you have a word?
Right. Sorry, June.
June. Ellison, about last night. I was well out of order. It was the end of the shift. I was a bit wound up, you know.
I don't, no.
Oh, come on, June. Look, I'm trying to apologise.
It's a bit late now. I'm on the Cockcroft.
Look, you know how it is at the end of a shift.
If you need to unwind with 2 pints of lager and a fight, I suggest you get another job.
Echo Lima.
Daniel?
No. Delta uniform. Daniel. Burning rubbish skip.
Right, I'm on my way. Excuse me, love, Daniel close.
You're gonna let him get away with it?
Look, June doesn't want it following up, and neither do I.
You're just gonna...
It's up to night duty.
You're just gonna leave it?
Yeah, that's right, Steve, yeah. I mean, the bloke's a total prat. He lives on the Cockcroft. I think that's punishment enough, don't you? I mean, what are we gonna do, make his life a misery?
You're going soft, Dave.
No, I just know a waste of time when I see it.
You are letting this guy walk all over us. He needs sorting out.
Well, then you're just a man for the job, aren't you, Steve?
And what's that supposed to mean?
It means that if you want him sorting out, you do it. If you've got something to prove, Steve, go and prove it.
Like what, for instance?
I don't know, you tell me. Look, if this is to do with June helping you out when those kids...
No, it is not.
All right, well, let's just leave it alone, eh?
Keel is well out of order. He needs sorting out.
He's just some Burke off the Cockcroft, Steve. Why don't you just leave him alone?
That is not what you said last night, is it?
Yeah, I know it's only round the corner. I've had trouble finding it.
Understood, Joe. There's a low ball job waiting here.
Sierra Oscar from 643.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I'm at the skip now. The fire brigade's just arrived. There's no sign of any kids, though. I'm going to ask around, see if anybody saw anything.
Understood, Joe.
Hey!
Sierra Oscar from 1. Yeah, PNC check, please, Reg. Maroon Ford Granada. Index Bravo Oscar Romeo 121 Victor.
Understood. Maroon Granada, not reported lost or stolen. Registered keeper shown as Mark Allen Keel, 2290 Rail Courts. That do you?
Nice one, Reg. We got a match. Off last night's custody record.
You're joking.
Nope.
And we just got the bonus. Eh? We didn't get anything. This is crazy, Steve. Look, you're not actually going to do this, are you?
Of course I am. It's causing an obstruction. Rear near side tyres knackered. Oh dear, oh dear. Right then.
What?
Make him shift it.
No way. Forget it, Steve. Look, if you want him to shift it, you do it.
Suit yourself. The Maroon Granada, Mr. Keel. Afraid I'll have to ask you to move it.
What?
It's causing an obstruction. I'm sorry, but you'll have to move it.
No way.
Are you refusing to move the car?
How many exams do you have to fail to become a copper?
The burning skip, June. What's the situation?
I'm on my way there now, Kath.
Find out if there are any witnesses, will you?
Will do. You haven't got anything for Steve Loxton, have you?
Steve? Like what?
Something that'd take him at least a fortnight.
Harassment, right? Told you to do this, has she? The girlfriend?
I'm just doing my job.
I know what you're doing. All there, is it? Have you checked the tax?
And what about the tyres?
Tyres? That's it. Do I look stupid?
Sierra 1 from MP receiving.
Go ahead,
This isn't getting us
MP.
anywhere, is it, Mr. Keel?
Junction of Cathcart.
Fair enough, Mr. Keel.
Suspects on
Under the vehicle defect repair scheme, you'll get 14 days to replace the worn tyre.
Get stopped!
Suspects on. I'm doing this. You want me to tell MP you're doing a bloke for a bald tyre? I've taken it, Steve.
We'll be back, Mr. Keel.
and I'll be waiting.
And you can get that tyre fixed.
And you can get stuffed. Yeah, yeah.
Steve.
What's the matter, lads? It's not here to watch.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Don't look at me, mate. You're the one who wanted to look at Pratt.
Go ahead, Reg.
Daniel Close.
Well, the fire's out. I'm going into a cafe. I'm going to see if anybody saw it go up.
Understood.
The burning rubbish skip out the back. Hey! Oh! You!
Try that.
Oh, thank you. My old day, June. Oh, I don't know. I've got Reg Hollis on the radio, a bunch of kids who don't look where they're going, and another 6 hours on the Cockcroft. What's wrong with that?
At least you're not the only one with problems. Steve Loxton's after some bloke. Nightingale Court.
Mark Keel.
Kathy came in from the CAD. Steve wanted details of Keel's fall. He's a total head case.
They both are. Drop it.
What?
I've just been talking to Donna and I want you to drop it. Mark Keel.
Well, don't look at me.
You've just been checking his car over.
No, he's just been checking his car over.
You've been winding him up, haven't you?
Look, he's not just your problem.
Not just my problem.
He's taking the mick out of the uniform.
I don't believe I'm hearing this. Look, I met him this morning. I'm on the plot with some nutter with convictions for grievous bodily harm, and you're telling me it's not just my problem? Well, you think about that when you're behind the wheel of your nice, warm car.
You want to see me, June?
It's a bit late now, so...
I'll be in the car.
Everything quiet at the Cockcroft, Dave?
Yeah.
Lancaster Court. There's a burglar alarm going off. The key holders are Mrs. Britton.
Understood.
And you need it back here, June. Some statements for crime support. One of them needs your signature.
One or the other, Reg?
Say again.
The alarm or the statements?
Well, both, really.
It's like I said last night. It's every tow rag with a grievance. The first thing they want to do is have a go. We'll always be targets.
Wearing the uniform's one thing, using it to victimise someone's another. I mean, you're going all the way back there just for a worn tyre.
It's an offence. You'll have time to get it sorted. And there's Keel's car.
I don't believe it. You don't give in, do you?
643 from Sierra Oscar.
Joan?
I'm at Lancaster Court. Get someone else.
There's no need to be like that.
See you later.
Yeah, okay.
You know you're following him.
You saw him. He came out of the pub staggering, had trouble getting into the car, appeared unable to start it.
I don't want to know.
Sierra 1 from Sierra Oscar.
Go ahead, Reg.
Cockcroft Estate, Dave. We've got a ladder up against a window. Can you deal?
Sorry, mate, we are currently in pursuit of a possible drink driving near the Seven Ways roundabout.
Understood.
Wish I did.
You come in?
No.
You on the tyre?
Where's the girlfriend?
I have reason to suspect that you've been
You
drinking.
must be joking. I've had 2 halves of lager and this is harassment.
I have reason to suspect you've been drinking and now require you to take a breath test.
No chance.
I must warn you.
This how you get your kicks?
I must warn you that failing to take a breath test is an arrestable offence.
Yeah, so arrest me.
Mark Keel, I'm arresting you for failing to take a breath test. You do not say anything, but anything you do say may be taken down.
Steve, just easy. Okay. Come on.
want to make a complaint against these two.
Arrested him for refusing to take a breath test and assaulting a police officer. Oh, and you'll have your say in a minute. What happened, Dave?
I want to make a complaint.
Didn't you hear me?
Didn't you hear me? I said I want to make a complaint and,
Oh, look, come on, I've done nothing to you.
Now, I warned you.
Yeah, you've not heard the last of this.
Get him out of here. Get him in the cell. Go through the book there with him.
This, now, this.
You all right?
He went to me.
Fine, so it's just fine.
Let me out. I want to see you, solicitor.
Everything all right?
Depends what you mean by all right, Sarge.
What's all this with Keel, then?
We had a set to on the Cockcroft yesterday. Then by chance he turns up at the pub last night and has a go at Dave. Or Dave has a go at him, whichever way you want to look at it. No prizes for guessing which way he sees it.
Steve's been at him all afternoon.
More or less, and because I'm the only one who hasn't had a go at him, he thinks I put them up to it.
Is that what you wanted to see me about?
Well,
Look, you don't have to go back on the Cockcroft.
no, why should I be driven off the estate by a prat like that? I've done nothing to him. I don't see why I should feel victimised.
I want to see you, solicitor.
Yes, I know.
So is he just some nutter?
Yeah, but he does have a point. Steve Loxton's been winding him up all day and he's decided to take her out on June.
She all right?
Well, she will be if Steve decides to leave him alone.
Like attracting light, Bob. They deserve each other.
Steve's met his match this time.
How's Quinnan?
Oh, no bone's broken. No thanks to Keel.
Or to Loxton. I want my laddo charged as soon as he's calmed down.
Right.
What happened in the pub? Well?
We thought he was going to have a go at June, sir.
We went over to protect her, sir.
I don't doubt the nobility of your motives, but it seems to me you brought this entirely on yourselves. What was the idea, Dave? Prove yourself physically? Gain some respect?
No, sir.
And then you've made his day this afternoon doing it in uniform. He thinks the whole world's against him now. Justified in doing anything, isn't he?
Sir.
And what's he got against June Ackland? Or is it that he's got nothing against her, but she makes an easier target than you two? She's wearing the same uniform, isn't she, Steve?
Yes, sir.
He's being charged with the assault on you and failing to supply a specimen. Get your IRBs done now, and you save the macho stuff for the canteen. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
I told you, you got to be firm.
What?
They're charging him with assault. If we charged him last night, none of this would have happened.
I'm on Daniel Close now, Reg.
Say again.
Daniel Close.
9 Forley Court. Mrs. Thomas. Next, 3rd of...
Sierra Oscar from 643.
643 from Sierra Oscar. June?
What you got, Reg?
Cheers. Well, there's been a peeping Tom down on the Cockcroft. Joan's going to attend, but her radio's on the blink.
We got anyone else down there?
Not at the moment, Sales, no.
Keep trying, eh?
So. 643 from Sierra Oscar.
Sierra Oscar from 643.
.643 from Sierra Oscar. June. Knock twice for yes, June. Sounds?
Could you hold on a minute, please? Yep.
She's off air.
Sierra Oscar from 643. Yeah, go ahead, Kath.
You all right, June?
No, I'm fine. My radio was on the blink.
Whereabouts is Foley Court?
Sergeant Boyden's there in a Panda with McCann. Where are you?
I'm not sure. Close, I think.
Well, when you do find him, you might as well call it a night. Catch a lift back, eh?
It's all right, Kath. I found it. He's just over the road.
I've been looking for you all over the shop, all on our own, haven't we?
You're nicked.
Cuffing, Gary. You all right, June?
All right. It's just no talking to some people.